space. Yes, I'm a manifester, and I'm a powerful manifester. Manifester. I rebuke you, I remove you, and I'll never look back. And I rebuke you, I remove you, and I'll never look back. It is done. It is done. I need some hearts. If we're in one accord, I need some hearts. We need to stop giving people space. No more toxicity, no more lying, no more following the trail of lies. We are empowering Black women. I rebuke you, I remove you, and I will never look back. I rebuke you, I remove you, and I'll never look back. Rebuke you, I remove you, and I'll never look back. It is done. It is done. That's what you do for those people. Camille, I'm going to say this to you. I know you're trying to be neutral, but this is not a neutral space. I want you to understand that. I'm not holding space for anyone else at this point. If you are neutral, you need to exit the live. And I'm serious about that because you're throwing the energy off in my live, and I will not allow you to do it. Bye. Take care. I'm talking about the harm that came to me, and you're trying to distract it with your voice, and it's not happening. Yes, uncle, sneaky uncle, where have you been? Removal is part of the process. I rebuke you, I remove you, and I will never look back. And I'm not holding space for neutrality. I'm not. I was violently attacked yesterday, and that's what I'm addressing. And I'm calling the person out who violently attacked me. Yes. And Creole Athena, I don't know what happened to you, what really took place, but I watched it. I watched people talking about it. And I want to speak to you because I don't know what happened there. And if you were attacked, I need to know that. You know, because I seen in the comment section, I was not ignoring it, but I was holding space for the energy that was needed. It was very hard. Aiden, it was very hard. I wasn't allowed to respond, by the way. The minute that I got into the box, I was silenced. Oh, we need to change the tone of the live, all while 45 minutes of somebody berating my character was allowed. No. That was not cool. And I'm going to speak out on it. Eyes, you wasn't there. Eyes to the sky, you wasn't there yesterday because you missed it, because I know you would have said something. You was probably attacked. They will attack you just because your presence is loud. Yeah, Grandma. I was in Nuggets Live yesterday, and initially the live was for us to protect Black women. We were actually in the live digressing and just talking about the anti-Blackness on this app. That's what I came to do. And while we were in the live, others came in, ambushed the live, and I was a moderator, which I never mod anyone else's live. But I thought we had an understanding that we were going to protect Black women in this live, and we were going to give voices to Black women. And if someone, even if a Black woman came in and tried to denigrate Black women, we were going to make sure that that didn't happen. So I personally, as a mod, was blocking people who came in to agitate the live. And it was a lot of them. Those who follow, those who create the narrative and try to troll. They came in together. Original Keith was the first one to come in and try to agitate the live. They let him in the box, so there was nothing I could do. And they followed behind him. And I was blocking, and they came under new accounts and kept on. It was like the boundaries were set and no one was respecting it. But I kept on block. I kept on blocking the ones that came in. So finally, there was a particular one they call Young Pat, which I won't even give him any time on my space. And Patrick Genty and Young Pat came in the live trying to denigrate my character. When I got in the box to speak up on my behalf, I was silenced. I was cut off by Breezy, saying that this live is not going that route. All while she held space, and I'm calling it out, she held space for Pat to keep on calling me out. And I could not protect myself. I could not protect myself. I literally had to sit there and listen to people denigrate me. And I'm like, what is going on? And then they started complaining, Ray is blocking people. And instead of them supporting it and saying, hey, Ray is my moderator, they're like, we can't do it. It's not me blocking. It's not me blocking. It's not me blocking. When I was protecting the live. So then I'm getting the backlash for them being blocked. Then Pat comes in and speaks this, basically regurgitates what I said in Mr. Jones's live about how you need to watch who you allow to be moderators because the backlash is going to be on you. Get your own thoughts, Pat, by the way. But I'm getting rid of them, Aiden. I watched how I was treated. Okay, I don't know if you meant it as a joke, but Nana, Shauna, I'm speaking about an experience of me being attacked as a Black woman and you're telling me to let it go. That is violent. Anyway, so I blocked Little Pat or Young Pat and they allowed him back in, saying, oh, we'll let him back in. He can speak his mind. All while doing that, for 45 minutes, he began a campaign of discrediting my voice, my name, and me as a person. And no one spoke out against that. They just sat there and allowed it to happen. At this time, the comment section is totally off. No one can say anything, at least not seen saying anything. You're out. No one is saying anything. Okay, good, Nicole, because she's a mess and I don't have time for that. So I'm sitting here while this guy is talking nonstop about me, telling them that they should get rid of me. I am their problem. Stroking egos. Breezy, we adore you, but basically raise your problem because she keeps on talking about things she has no business talking about. And you telling people not to talk about things and they continue to talk about it. Pause. Breezy can never tell me what I can talk about. I'm older than Breezy. She can give me an opinion and I take if I want to, but I often do not take unsolicited advice. If I didn't ask your opinion about something, I don't normally take it. So, but he's telling her that she must hold me accountable. And she is saying, well, I didn't see that. I wasn't privy to that. And I didn't see that. But if you had the receipts, please send them to me and I'll address it. And my thought is, who are you addressing? I had a problem with those statements and I actually confronted her about it. Instead of saying, Ray has never said those things. This is not true. And Ray's my girl, and I don't hold space for you talking about her disrespectfully. Because I have never held space for anybody to come in my life and disrespect any of them. I have defended Nuggets. I have defended Breezy. But I didn't get that same defense in return. And so nobody has to tell me or tell them to not fuck with me. They can't fuck with me. I no longer fuck with them. That's why I'm doing the live. Because I'm creating clear boundaries. I'm creating clear boundaries. I determine what I allow people to do to me. And I have determined how I was treated yesterday was hugely disrespectful, denigrating, and I felt like I was ambushed. And I understand that some people, this is their life. I am not up here on this app 5 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning, jumping from live to live to live to see what people say about me. That is some people's whole life. That is not my life. So I get it. I have supported both of them outspokenly. Nuggets is a white woman and you know I don't play with them. But I watched her be disrespected and I spoke on it. And I protected her in my life and gave her space. And I did not get that in return. And I addressed them privately. And so now this is why I'm operating in such. You denigrate me in the way, in a public forum. You allow people to denigrate me and try to attack me while you sit there and let that happen. We have a problem. Actually, we don't have a problem. We're not friends. We don't need to talk to each other. My life will go on. I will be just as successful without you because my success was never connected to you. White woman, Maze Mel. Can I let her stay in? Mabes, Melly, I don't know who you are and why you feel the need to come in my space. But let me say this to you. You are a white woman. I don't hold space for you. I think you are violent just being here. And for you to come in and think that you can center your voice in a Black woman's space is an atrocity. And because you have not learned that lesson, I also know that you have not done the work that you're supposed to do. And you should not have proximity to Black people because you are violent. You have been on my lives. You have been on my page, following me, basically stalking me, a Black woman. You have reported me. You need to stop. And I don't know how to say your name, but why are you here? If I'm not a safe space for you, why are you here? I'm confused on that. Blocked. I'm no longer holding space for any of these people. I'm no longer mutuals with a lot of people. I made an executive decision for my sanity. People are operating out of ego and saying it is love. And I'm not operating out of ego any longer. I'm not going to participate in your ego running from one lob to the other, trying to convince people that I should have a voice. I never did that. That's not how I operate. I'm not trying to prove myself to anybody in anyone else's life. I have held space in my life and kept it safe as I possibly could. And no, I do not give voice to people who are trying to be violent against me. If that is wrong, then I don't want to be right. You have a different idea of what I believe safety is. And I will burn every bridge if the bridge means that your connection to me means that I am going to be harmed. And I mean that. It is not logical to hold a space for somebody. Let me ask this. I'll just ask that question. Would you remain friendly or friends with someone who allows someone to denigrate you in real time on a live and not protect you at all? All for the sake of views and quote unquote receipts. Is that healthy? Okay. That is illogical. That is protecting yourself. There's no way you're going to convince me that the reason why you allow someone to denigrate my character for 45 straight minutes is because you wanted him to just talk himself in a circle and then request receipts from him. And when he doesn't bring the receipts, then that means he looks like a liar. No. Whatever you give space to on your live, whatever you uphold is what people remember. So when people sketch that live and they take pieces of it, they're going to say this is what was allowed to happen. So they agree with Ray. They agree with this person who is denigrating Ray. She is the problem because you allowed that to happen for 45 straight minutes. That logic makes no sense. And I'm calling it out. Don't tell me that now I must be like, oh, okay. No, I'm not okay. That shit was painful to sit there and watch you allow somebody to denigrate my character in your life. And no, I cannot tell anyone what they are allowed to do in their lives. But what I can do is actively address it and ask for something different. And if you tell me that my standard of friendship doesn't match your standard of friendship, all while asking me to be a vigilante in other people's accounts to protect your name. And I chose not to do that because I don't do that behavior. But then the one time that you had a moment to protect me, you did not, then we are not friends. We are not friends, and you cannot convince me otherwise. And you cannot tell me you're protecting me while letting someone denigrate me. That's bullshit. You have to take that third grade bullshit to someone else, because that's not facts. I would never allow that. That's God gaslight. Exactly. Don't tell me I didn't see what I seen and heard what I heard. I thought we were too, but we're not. We're very different people. My stance on loyalty is not the same. And I understand that. And that's why I'm disassociating myself. So I am choosing to no longer connect with violent people who I deem are violent. Twice in Nuggets Live, I've been attacked vitriolly. Twice, while this attack is happening, no one is protecting me. So this is no longer like a mistake. This is no longer like, oh, maybe they just didn't get it. This is an active decision not to protect me like I protect you. You have chosen to throw me out there by myself while I'm over here campaigning for your safety. No, I will not uphold that shit. You're upholding white supremacy tactics, and you aligned yourself with a black woman who is upholding what I believe is white supremacy tactics. And I do not feel protected in those spaces, because I would have never allowed that to happen. And I'm speaking truth to it. The comments were cut off. So nobody could really interject to say, nah, that's not what happened for 2 weeks straight. Ray has not been talking about you for 2 weeks straight. That boy, that guy that came in here did exactly what he was supposed to do. He did his job, and that's what I told him last night. He did his job. He literally came in to divide and conquer, and you allowed it because he stroked your ego and told you what a great person you are. You are the typical black person who, when they get $1 and somebody holds them at some esteem, they will throw us all over under the bus. And I'm saying that loud and clear. That's my opinion now. Except it's not dollars, it's likes, which makes it far worse. At least feed your kids. At least feed your kids. It was an uninterrupted tirade of trashing me. And the minute that I got in the box to speak my mind, all of a sudden we need to change the energy of the live. While somebody literally sat in that live for 45 minutes coming at my neck. I was not talking about and Pat not feeding his kids. Stop that lie. I never said that. I said at least feed your kids. If you're going to come up on this app and sell your soul, don't sell it for likes. Y'all, you can't, your listening skills is all messed up. And so I'm starting to believe you're in here to create drama, and you will be moved. I have not mentioned any of his children, and I would never talk about his kids, so stop the bullshit. I was in Nuggets Live and I was virtually attacked for 45 minutes while yes, this live is recorded, while they allowed it and said nothing. And I feel some type of way about that, and I'm speaking on it. Since it was done publicly, I'm addressing it publicly. It was a setup. I believe it was totally set up, that the comment section, because when the comment section was put back on, I seen people saying, that is not true. That is not what Ray has been doing. People were actually speaking out. 2 weeks worth of me just talking about people. Stop. That's not even my character. Like, stop. I got too much work to do. But I'm taking time today to talk about this because I believe it's important. And I'm going to speak truth. You publicly allow someone to denigrate me and then feel any way about it. And that's a problem for me. That's what it feels like, Eyes. I'm not going to hold you. Threw me under the bus to make me take the backlash for their lack of accountability for what took place in that live. That live was not my live in the first place. I was invited to that live unbeknownst to me what the fuck was going on. When I got in there, it was already chaotic, out of control. I don't give a fuck what they tell him. Sorry, y'all, but I'm tired of it. I would never talk about his children, and that's a lie. If he wants to hold space for that, go ahead. That's ridiculous. I feel like it was planned too. I feel like I have always been the scapegoat because I am the assertive voice in the room, and I protect Black women at all costs. My goal is not to only protect one Black woman. My goal is to protect all Black women. And so what I would like to have seen Nugget say is that she's going to hold space for all Black women and discuss that. But that didn't happen either. You're not going to use me as a scapegoat. I'm going to speak truth to it. And I'm not slow. You're not going to use me as a scapegoat. You're not going to lie and use me as a scapegoat. You're not going to say we're going to make lives so Black women can speak about the anti-Blackness on this app. And then when Black women come in the app, you allow people to trample over them. Because that's what happened yesterday. And nobody runs me. Never can, never will. And I don't orchestrate tears to get sympathy like some people do. Plan when they're going to cry, plan when they're not going to cry to create sympathy. I don't do that. Together to protect your voice, all while you let my voice be diminished. No, I'm not doing that. I'm not going to be your scapegoat. And I don't have to cry for people to relate to my heart being hurt. And that's what people need. I don't have to cry. That shit, what happened to me, broke my heart. This is the second time that went down.
Hey.
Yes.
fill
I'm
my
very
cup.
upset, Nicole, because yesterday what took happened, I went to sleep on it. We talked last night. You know how I felt. I went to sleep on it, and I'm like, my brain was burnt.
Hmm.
Then I woke up and I was still feeling the same way. And typically, if I still feel the same way about something, I usually address it.
Right.
Go ahead, Nicole, because they're lying on me. You know I did not say that. I would never speak on somebody's children, so that's a lie. Stop it. Um, but it left me with a bitter taste because I was thrown under the bus. And I also feel like I was being used as a scapegoat. Let Ray take the hit. Let Ray take the hit while I look like I am the soft, hurt one being attacked. And because I don't cry on this app, I can take that hit.
All right. So
You understand?
my right. So my thing is, who?
If
Please
you
tell
know
me
me,
it's
you know
not
I don't
Pat.
have any friends on
All
this
right.
app.
Tell me it's not Pat that's creating these rumors.
No, I already addressed Pat full chest.
Okay.
I already addressed Pat because Pat is a fucking liar.
Yeah.
And I
Listen,
addressed him
y'all.
on my live today.
Yeah.
He's a liar. I reached out to Pat, explaining to him that I never talked about his live. I don't care what was shown to him. They cut those
Right.
videos up. And I reached out to him to try to have a private conversation. He never responded, but he went on a campaign trying to disparage my character nonstop. And
Right.
to the point where yesterday Nuggets was having a live and he came in a live talking about, I'm talking about him. The minute I got in the box to try to defend myself, I was shut off by Breezy, who would not let me speak.
You know, I was just in that lot. You know, I took a nap. You know that already. I told you I was tired. Because I was in that live for about what, maybe 5 hours before I got out. Uh, but we were just talking about in that live about agency and describing what agency really looks like, our right to agency. And there's two major components in it. That's, you know, the feeling of agency and, you know, the just of agency, right? So I think it's kind of funny that right after we just got to finish explaining it, and then, you know, me and you and, um, oh my God, I'm losing her name, another content creator sent the example and the tone in the room of how it should be. I'm surprised that it still went down like that because it shouldn't have. We set the tone in that room right before I left. And I know I led that. It was me who led that in that room of how it should be done when it comes to protecting all Black women, you know, with your whole strength, not just one person. So I'm I'm starting to feel like all this shit is performative at certain Black women's expense, you know? And it's usually what I've noticed on this app too, is usually just the Black women who have a strong presence, like you and I.
Exactly.
And I'm not going to allow people to break our spirit on this app. Hey, Anna Breaks, I see you. You might want to hop out. I need you to mod me and let y'all go. I'm gonna let you guys know I'm that type of person who will call all you bad actors out. So if I see you, it's on site.
And can I address something? Whatever
Mm-hmm.
they showed to Pat was snippets of a full conversation with context. Full conversation with context. I said I do not feel safe in anyone else's live at this point. I said that before. It wasn't specific to Pat. Now I'm specifically saying this. I do not feel like Pat lives are safe for Black women. I do not feel that Pat holds a safe space for Black women. He's dangerous. And I did call him the devil, and I meant that.
Here's my
Look
thing
at my
though. He's
face. You don't
this
have
this
to
is
go
a
and tell
man.
him. Saying I'm saying Pat is unsafe for me and black women. I watched how Miss Jones cried.
Right. Here's my thing too.
To me, and
Um,
that's all that counts. To me, if I don't believe his space is safe to me, then that's what I believe, and I have a right not to
right.
want to go in it. But it is clearly stalking and disgusting if you are attacking a black woman because she doesn't want to come in your space.
Okay, first of all, she doesn't have any internalized racism.
I'm blocking these
Setting up
bitches.
setting When you mock me too, by the way. Um, Here's my thing. I'm right here. You can mock me.
You've
First
been
of all,
modded
oh,
because I think
thank you.
Nicole is out of the live.
Okay. First of all, someone can. Here's the thing with Pat. Pat is an opportunist. I'll say it. You can come for me. I don't care. Pat is an opportunist. This is why I never followed him around. I didn't want to follow him around the first time that he decided that he was going to call a black woman a black fat bitch. That's your first sign right there that he don't care. There wasn't enough talking and explaining to get him to change his mind during that time. I don't play games with men like that. And then he put on this type of performance, right? Of, oh, I understand and I get it now. No, that's not how that works in real life. Okay? We all know that's not how that fucking works in real life. And then he's always admitted, right, in his own lives that, he likes the coins and the followers and the viewerships when it comes to drama, when it comes to controversial stuff. He said it himself. So is that a safe space? Because we know what this app trends the most: black trauma and black drama. Is this really a safe space? Y'all got to learn how to critically think on your own and quit being followers. Come on now. Stop being followers. If a black woman is saying that because of his actions and his behavior, she don't feel safe, you do not get to gaslight her. You don't get to tell her how she should react to what has happened to her. I don't give a shit about the Miss Jones situation, the Modern Warrior situation. I'm talking about black women in general who have said that they're not safe in that life. Okay? Like I don't know how to, on this app, it's so sad that a lot of people are so quick to, uh, too quick to trauma dump, toxic dump their emotions onto people, but not critically think on their own. And it's always at black women's expense. And lately, this has always been at Ray's expense. But here we are, right? Because black women are so strong. But you guys think that black women are so strong because we're forced to endure the most everywhere we go, whether it's in person, whether what we see, on TV, whether it's digitally. It's sad. But no, it's not she's not going to feel safe on his life when it's convenient for him. It is about her, and it's okay sometimes for it to be about a black woman, and not black women having to hold space for everybody else in their feelings. If Ray says that she is uncomfortable, she is uncomfortable, she is not safe. Period. I know from my own experience as well that. I have not felt comfortable in his space, which is why you won't see me hop into his space a lot like that. I won't. I know where I am welcome. I know where I feel safe. Hey, love, how are you? I just woke up from a nap, so I have energy now. These naps have been catching up to me. I've been missing everything.
No, because you were at a. So I want to make something clear.
Hmm.
Because I see people asking, Crystal. I decided after Nuggets Live, where things went ape shit, I decided to stay in my own space and create boundaries. I was invited to several people's live so that we can talk it out. And I decided it is best that I stay in my own space because I had already been attacked virtually. And I did not want that to happen again. I also recognized that going into other people's space gives them control of the narrative. And I do not give away my control. Meaning to say, if you want to create a narrative that I am the bad guy, you can certainly create that in your live. Let me explain how you do that. By letting someone for 45 minutes denigrate my character and not let me speak back. So I decided I don't want those kinds of things happening. I'm not going to go in
Hmm.
space. I'm going to take 3 days and I am going to address every issue that I can address. Sound issues, not made up ones. I took my 3 days after that crazy live and I addressed it one by one by one. While I'm addressing it, people are coming in and asking me to come into other people's lives to speak. I said no. I'm not going in anyone's live. It even got to the point that Juju was dragged in it. But the wonderful thing that Juju did was he came
Hmm.
to me personally and he said, Ray, um, is there something going on here that I need to know? Because people were going back to him saying that I said his live wasn't safe. And that's not what I said. I said I don't feel safe in anyone else's lives. So I'm not going into Juju's lives. I'm not going into
Right.
Pat's lives. I'm not going
I
into
was there for
anyone's
that.
lives.
My
That's what I
okay. So
said.
when
Wait.
Ray
Let
was
me
in the
finish this because
box,
I want
yeah.
to finish this.
Okay. Go ahead.
That's what I said. I don't feel safe in anyone's life at this point but mine. And that's what I did. I remained in my life. I held healing lives where the indigenous people were able to come in and speak to me. And I heard their side of things, those who actually wanted to talk and not create some type of soap opera. I held space for them. We got an understanding. Everyone that was in the live left with an understanding. I gave it 3 days, people. 3 days is long enough to talk about any said issue. After that, that is just outright insanity. And I'm not putting myself through weeks and weeks of turmoil.
All right. Here's my question
So
too.
wait a minute,
For,
wait, because I got to
go
finish
ahead.
this.
Sorry. I thought you paused
Weeks
to
and
take
weeks
a
of
breath.
turmoil because I want to
Hmm.
bring this home. So I'm pausing a lot.
Okay.
I
I
will
got you.
not allow someone to bring me through weeks and weeks of turmoil. I gave it 3 days. I opened my live up. I said it. I talked about it in depth. Everything I could address, I addressed. And then I moved on to the topic of anti-blackness, which is my priority. I have always upheld a platform for Black women and our voices. What I watched happen to Black women for that entire week was an atrocity. That's what happened. Following time, I never discussed it again, never brought sound to it. I kept it moving. I ended up in a live yesterday, which I thought was a healing live for Black women to get our feelings out and just talk about it.
Right.
What happened was that I was attacked. ambushed. And when I tried to speak on my behalf, I wasn't allowed to speak
Mm-hmm.
in the depths that I wanted to speak in. So I gracefully left the live. I addressed both people that I felt was responsible for how I was treated privately. I did not get the results or response that I felt was was acceptable for my liking. It wasn't acceptable for my liking. And since it's me who was trampled on and ambushed and talked about for 45 straight minutes, I feel like my feelings need to be acknowledged. And it wasn't. So when you come to someone and say, this is what I felt like, my feelings are hurt. I feel like I was ambushed. It was a sabotage and you did not protect me. And they respond and say, well, I do things the way I do them. And you have no right to tell me how to do things. That's all we needed
Mm-hmm.
to say to each other. Because what that tells me is the way I hold our friendship is not the same way you hold our friendship. And once you say that out loud to me, I understand you. And there's no more talking that needs to be done, in my opinion. You told me where you stand, and I addressed it, and that's that. You told me where I can take my opinion. I took it, and that's that. Now I decided I was going to get on the live last night, but I sat with myself and I did some shadow work. And I said, am I operating out of ego, or am I just holding space for my feelings that was hurt and trampled on? I went to the God that I serve, and my God said, go off. Your feelings are facts. What happened was unacceptable. And a person who cares about your well being, and you come to them and you tell them this hurt, and this was unfair to me, and they respond with, I do things with logic while I'm talking about my feelings, and that what you're talking about is an illogical. You cannot tell me, your friend, that logic is that you let someone berate me for 45 fucking straight minutes and you don't combat any of the language. All you combat it with is, I wasn't there. I never heard that. So if you have any evidence, I will hold them accountable. That is not a proper response from a friend. That is somebody trying to stay neutral and save face for themselves.
And that's not what accountability is. Like, why are we, blurring the lines of what accountability looks like? Accountability is itself. It's a self job. It is not for anyone else to do. You don't have any authority. You do not have any authority over another human being to hold them accountable. The accountability is self work. Now, can we all share responsibility? Yes. But in this moment, no one shared a responsibility that we all had agreed with, right? So the accountability then becomes self. It is a self job. No one cannot hold another person accountable. So we need to stop with that narrative and stop pushing that, because it's not accountability, it's judgment.
Yes.
That's what it is. It's judgment that you guys are convoluting with accountability intentionally, and that is violence. That is dangerous, because then people can masquerade, right, other things with that and call it accountability, like the lateral violence that recently happened to all Black women who were just in the space. That included myself. I had nothing to do with this. And I was being, harmed. My main account got bananaed because of it.
Mine
Okay?
too.
Learn what accountability is, because it's self work. You do not have authority, especially over a goddamn stranger on the internet. Excuse me cursing, but it's a stranger over the internet. What power do you think you have? That you think you possess? What type of authority do you think you have over a stranger over the internet, over an app? Some of y'all need to work on your emotional intelligence concerning it. Okay? Ray is her own person. She's not an extension of anybody. And we are not all monolith. And I find it funny too in general where everyone of a different group other than a black woman deserves grace and call-ins and and healing and little circles and etc. But then when it comes to a black woman, y'all want to go to you might as well just call it war, because you guys do it a spiritual war, because you guys do everything in your power to break their spirits. And then when it doesn't work, then we're the boogeymans.
That
Stop with
part, we
the
should
angry
know
black
better.
woman trope. Mm-hmm.
We should know better and
Right.
that's why I decided actively not to go in anyone else's lives. I decided to hold space where I feel safe and I could safeguard black women. And that means against other black people as well. And I had no problem with that. Because I can't say I'm holding space for black women all while letting black women be attacked on my live. I'm not doing that.
Mm-hmm.
And that means the first words you say that I feel like is out of connection with what I'm discussing, you get blocked. And I have a right to do that. And this is not my life is not a soap opera. That's why I'm taking the time today to clear the air and let people know where I stand and who I stand with. And this ain't it. I've called out who I wanted to call out. Just the same way I was disparaged in public, I'm calling it out in public. I'm not going to privately address it. I was there to witness it. And I don't need anyone to speak for me. I can speak on my own behalf. But if you
Mm-hmm.
know for yourself that you were in that live and watched me be disparaged in such a heinous way, then we are on one accord. And I have every right to have this feeling of disdain and hurt.
Right.
And I'm tired of it. I have sat and held the torch for others while people let my fucking ass burn. Burn. And I didn't say anything.
Mm-hmm.
And what I do respect about I Speak, and I want to say this, because there was a moment in Mr. Jones's live where Breezy was being told what she is and what she was doing and how unacceptable it was. And she tried to deflect it and say it was me. It was another woman on the live. I would never do that. And I still didn't get it. It was another woman on the live. It was another woman on the live is what she kept on repeating about me. And I Speak said, and everybody's like, you're talking about Ray. And I Speak said, I'm not talking about Ray. I'm addressing you. And so what I recognized as I connected dots, I was always the scapegoat in this scenario.
Mm-hmm.
Always the scapegoat. Always the scapegoat. And I recognized that. And I was ambushed purposely. And I'm not going to get tears together to make you feel sorry for me. I'm going to speak facts. If I can't handle a live, guess what I don't do? I don't go in them. If I'm overwhelmed in a live, guess what I do? I leave them. I don't sit there and cry for people to get for pity. I get out the live. If I'm so overwhelmed I can't speak any longer, guess what I do? I get out. Stop it. Let's speak facts. Let's speak truth. I'm speaking facts and truth now.
And I'm going to stand 10 toes on it because I've gotten to witness it on as a person on the outside. I'm on the outside of this. And so I wouldn't know what it's like to be inside of this situation right now. And so I'm not going to compare myself to you like that. What I am
It's very
going to say
painful. I will say
is,
that, Coco. It's very
yeah,
painful. Because I
and I believe
stood
you.
up 10 toes down for these people, and they didn't do the same for me. And I watched it happen. And I've deleted everyone that has any type of Anything with them, I don't want to be bothered. I don't want the circle. I'm not going to the blammies. I'm not doing any of that. Leave me the fuck alone. Do not text, do not call, do not DM me. I don't want to have a conference. I don't want to talk about it. I know what I witnessed. I know what I feel. My feelings are facts. I'm done with this.
Mm-hmm. Listen, when I'm gonna say this too, when I say something or I set something up, I mean it. And I'm gonna need a lot of Black women on this app to learn how to be community based, even on this app. It's not just in person within your circles; it's also digitally as well. We do not leave another Black woman behind, even if. And I always say this too. I don't have to. I don't even have to like the Black woman. Okay. I don't have to have anything in common with this Black woman, but
I hate this.
her protection is always, there's no exceptions to that rule. She always deserves protection from any tools of white supremacy anywhere she goes. And if you can't understand that, stay away, because you are the problem. It's funny to me. I was always an exception when it comes to a Black woman. The death threats, huh? The constant attacks and gaslighting, right? The rumors that we know is dangerous. The doxing on this app. We are not protected from anyone but each other. And so we need to learn how to be strong in moments like this too. And not let people deter us, not